Gently close your eyes. Do deep breathing. We'll chant Om once together. Synchronize the chanting of Om with your exhalation. Breathe in. Sahana vavatu, sahanau bhunaktu, sahaviryam karavavahai, tejasvinavaditamastu ma vidvishavahai. Om Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Gently open your eyes. We'll chant from verses 68 to 72 of chapter 2. Tasmadhyasya mahabaho,
Tasmadhyasya mahabaho,
Nigrihitani sarvashah,
Nigrihitani sarvashah,
Indriyani-indriyarthebhyah,
Indriyani-indriyarthebhyah,
Tasya prajna pratisthita,
Tasya prajna pratisthita,
Ya nisha sarvabhutanam,
Ya nisha sarvabhutanam,
Tasyam jagati sanyami,
Tasyam jagarti sanyami,
Yasyam jagrati bhutani,
Yasyam jagrati bhutani,
Sa nisha pashyato muneः,
Sa nisha pashyato muneः,
Apuryamānamachala pratishtham,
Apuryamānamachala pratishtham,
Samudramāpah pravishanti yadvat,
Samudramāpah pravishanti yadvat,
Tadvat kāmayam pravishanti sarve,
Tadvat kāmayam pravishanti sarve,
Sashantimāpnoti na kāmakāmi,
Sashantimāpnoti na kāmakāmi,
Vihāya kāmānyas sarvān,
Vihāya kāmānyas sarvān,
Pumāmscharati nisprihah,
Pumāmscharati nisprihah,
Nirmamo nirahankarah,
Nirmamo nirahankarah,
Sashantimadhigacchati,
Sashantimadhigacchati,
Esha brahmi sthiti partha,
Esha brahmi sthiti partha,
Nainam prapya vimuhyati,
नैनां प्राप्य विमुह्यति
स्थित्वा स्यामन्तकालेऽपि
स्थित्वा स्यामन्तकालेऽपि
ब्रह्मनिर्वाणमृच्छति
ब्रह्मनिर्वाणमृच्छति
Hari Om, and a very good day to all of you. So we have been seeing the deep messages hidden in verse number 68, wherein he uses the word nigrihitani. Now, last week I told you nigrihitani means not being in the extremes, but being in the middle. In the name of spirituality, if you completely deny yourself, then deny yourself of the worldly pleasures, of the worldly experiences, then you cannot work out your karmas. See, each one of you, you are born in this planet Earth, you have taken this incarnation for a particular purpose. The ultimate purpose of everyone is self-realization, is God realization, enlightenment. But apart from that ultimate purpose, from a relative level, each one of you, you have come here to experience certain things. It is different from one individual to the other, it will differ. You cannot copy what another person is doing. You have come with your set of karmas, with your thoughts, your emotions, your unique desires. Now, in order to work out the karmas, in order to resolve all the issues, the unresolved issues, you need to contact the world. Any issue which you have, any karma which is there within you, is pertaining to the world only. When you take the fourth state, the state of moksha, enlightenment, that is a state which is free of any karmas. No issue is there to be resolved. So what these great masters are saying is that if you want to burn up your karmas, if you want to attain enlightenment, you cannot afford to escape from the world. Just as a cricketer has to be in the cricket field ultimately, a doctor has to be in the clinic or hospital. See, from a worldly sense it becomes very easy for you to understand, but the same thing is applicable from the spiritual sense also. This is a common mistake which many sadhaks make. They unnecessarily suppress themselves because of a fear. Oh, I don't want to get caught up in the samsara. I don't want to become worldly. The moment you say that, it means you've already you started gravitating towards worldliness, your mind. Last week I was explaining, if you move to any one of the extremes, then your thoughts will start running towards that object. So you should be very careful. The fear syndrome is something which does not allow you to flower in spirituality. Many sincere sadhaks with a noble goal, with a noble vision of wanting to realize God in that either because of over enthusiasm or because of some kind of a fear that I don't want to get caught up here. So what they end up doing is that they suppress their desires, they suppress their very nature, and they try to artificially fit in to some kind of a lifestyle which they are not made for. So for a while that will look good, but ultimately your swadharma will catch up with you. Your nature, swadharma means your inner nature, will start establishing itself. Swami Ramatita, he gives a beautiful comparison, example, He says it's like a cold-stricken snake. Sometimes, he says in the Himalayas, he was a witness to that. He used to find the snakes when they are struck by the cold, the snow, they literally become lifeless externally. They just become stationary, as if they are not alive. And I believe even some children and all, they used to, he has seen some children take the snakes in their hands and play with them. Absolutely no response from the snake. But the moment some warmth is given, when the sun comes out a little bit and the warmth hits the snake, immediately the snake comes back to life. It hisses. It tries to bite. So Ramatita gives that example for, he compares the snake to the deeper desires, the vasanas. Vasanas means the seed form of desires. When it is manifest, we call them as desires. When it is in the seed form, unmanifest form, we call it as a vasana. So sometimes, just like the cold-stricken snake, your vasanas, your desires, may seem as if they have disappeared. That is because of, you forced yourself to be in an environment which is not conducive for the vasana to manifest. But if you're not careful, that will become a block that will not allow you to develop spiritually. The moment a conducive environment comes, you are exposed. The warmth, he draws parallels, he compares the warmth to a conducive environment. So when you are put in a conducive environment, then the vasana or the desire comes back with tremendous force. So it is of utmost importance not to slip into self-denial. Just lead a normal life, go through the ups and downs of life, the pleasures and the pains, and keep doing the sadhana, and slowly you have to outgrow all these things. You have to work out your karmas. The other extreme is one of indulgence. When you go all out and indulge in the world, then you have again no chance of working out your karmas. You will lose sight of the ultimate purpose in life, which is enlightenment. You will get so involved, entangled, enmeshed in the world that you will not have time for anything higher. Some people, they don't have time at all. Time is not at their disposal, even to just pause and examine, where am I going? What am I doing? Now you only have to find time. You have to set aside some time for yourself to question the basics. So, if you move to this extreme, which is withdrawal, that is complete self-denial, you cannot grow spiritually. You will not be giving yourself that opportunity to work out your karmas. If you go to the other extreme, which is indulgence, then you will get so enmeshed in the world that you will not have time for sadhana. You will not have time to develop spiritually, to take up the spiritual practices and practice them diligently. I'm not talking of Yoga Sankirtan alone. I'm saying throughout the day itself, your mind will be so involved with the day-to-day experiences that you will lose sight of the ultimate purpose. So that is why Nigrihitani, he has chosen this word Nigrihitani, which means to be right in the middle, to be centered. So the moment we say don't go to both the extremes, the common mistake which people make is that they equate this to physical contact or withdrawal. They think that you should not contact the world beyond a certain limit, physically, externally. But we get the clue from the very next line where he says, Indriyani indriyartebhyah. You should restrain the senses from the sense objects. So sense objects is representative of the world. He uses the word indriyani. I have explained the word indriyaha in the earlier verses. That is actually not the sense organs in the sense, that is the physical organs, but it is the power behind the sense organs, which is the sense center of, the sense centers, which are an aspect of the mind. So when he says the senses should be restrained, if you take it at the physical level, you will equate it merely, you will equate it with quantity. See, it is not so simple like that. If the whole thing is just mere quantity, then we don't require all these Sunday discourses, we don't require to study the Bhagavad Gita and all that. We can just have a simple set of things which you need to do, and so many times. We can say, eat one sweet, eat this so much. Now when it comes to see these things so many times a day, we can just fix the quantity. It doesn't work out that way. So the clue is in the word indriyani. it's in the plural form. So Indriya is referring to that power behind the sense organs, which is a part of the mind. So, where is your mind? That is, what exactly is staying in the middle? I'll explain now. This is very important for you all as sadhaks. Last several weeks I've been preparing you so much to give these subtle points with respect to Nigrihitani only. So it is easy to say be in the middle. What exactly is being in the middle? It has nothing to do with the quantity of enjoyment. You may be in sense enjoyment or you may be completely withdrawn. That does not determine whether you are centered or not. What determines? It is the condition of your mind. Whenever your mind runs towards an object or a person, any aspect of the world, on its own, without your control, then you have moved away from the center. I am repeating it. Whenever the mind moves towards the world, any aspect of the world, without your control on its own, then you are no longer centered. You have moved away from the middle path. So if you carefully see, if you are indulging, you will all the time be thinking about that object. If you completely withdraw yourself from the world, then also your mind will run towards the world a lot. See, gently, where does your mind run? Your mind runs towards those objects which you don't have only. Supposing you say, from today onwards, I will not eat a particular sweet, let us say, I will not eat that. The moment you say that, then only the mind will start running towards that object a lot. The other extreme also, if you are too much into that, again the mind will be running. So the whole focus there is on your mind, not on the body. It is not merely on the body. Number one. So whenever the mind runs on its own, then you have moved away from the center. Number two, the other factor also we need to see, the other aspect, that is, once you have allowed the mind to contact the world, to interact with the world, now whenever you want the mind to come back, you should be able to instantly pull back the mind and again be in your center. If you are unable to pull back your mind, once an experience is over, then you have moved away from the center. So externally, a person may be contacting the senses, the sense objects. He may be amidst sensual enjoyment. This is only an example. But how do we know whether he is in a state of nigrihitani or not? We have to check. Has his mind run on its own or has he decided to contact the sense object? Number one. Number two, when this experience is over or whenever he wants to stop it, is he able to stop the flow of his thoughts? Is he able to pull back his mind? These two factors determine whether you are in the state of nigrihitani or not. So don't equate it merely at the physical level and start putting artificial rules. Of course, rules are required. That also we saw in the previous verses. See, supposing you have a weakness for a particular object, there you may need to fix quantities and say, if I go beyond this quantity, then my mind goes out of my control. But even there, the quantity is fixed based on the condition of your mind, not merely from the external level. So that is why in the scriptures they say, never ever judge a person who is higher developed than you. Because externally it may look as if he or she may be indulging, but internally that person may be in a state of nigrihitani. Or just because a person has withdrawn externally, don't conclude that that person is spiritual. Not necessary. There is a beautiful story which illustrates this point. There was a so-called saint, a spiritual person, and he used to live in a small house, and every day he used to sit outside. Outside he had made a kind of a seat for him to sit and meditate. Now, just opposite to his house, there was a lady, and she was a lady of ill repute, and many men used to visit her. And when this person, the saint, saw that, his mind became very disturbed. So he tried telling her that, see, what you're doing is not correct and all that. She didn't say anything, but she was continuing with whatever she was doing. So then what he started doing was, every time a man used to go into that lady's house, he used to take a stone and place it next to him, a small stone, a pebble. This was happening for months together. So a lot of stones started getting accumulated. So one day the lady asked him, why are you keeping all these stones here? He said, these are your papas. Papa means sin, These are the sins which you have committed. Then he explained to her. When she saw that, when she heard what he said, she was shocked, So she went back to her home, and she was sitting and reflecting, my God, what am I doing in my life? Actually, it was not merely at that time. Right from beginning, when the saint used to tell her that what you're doing is wrong, it used to trigger a lot of spiritual thoughts in her. So in her spare time, she used to sit and keep thinking about, what am I doing in my life? What is my purpose? And she used to keep praying to God internally. All this she was doing. Then the story is that both of them died, and their souls went up, and it was decided now who is going to go to heaven and who is going to go to hell. And to the utter surprise of the saint, the lady's soul was sent to heaven, and this person's soul, that is a saint's soul, he was sent to hell. So the saint was very disturbed. He said, okay, I'll go, but I want to meet God. and I want to ask him one question. So they gave, they took the soul to God. And saint asked him, what is this? This is total injustice. All the time, I led a saintly life and you're sending me to hell. And she was a very sinful lady and you're sending her to heaven. Why is that? So then God gave the explanation. He said, see, physically you were, you had the clothes of a yogi and all that. You were sitting there in a meditation seat and people used to come to you for advice and all that. But mentally, what were you doing? You were only observing what this lady was doing. Actually, you were counting, the collection of stones which you had kept near you. There was a thought backing it. Every time you used to pick a stone, what was your bhavana? Oh, the sin was committed. So your mind was associated with sin. Whereas the lady, she was living opposite you and she was seeing you meditating all the time. And she used to think, what am I doing in life? See, he is such a great Mahatma, such a great yogi. He is thinking about God. So I should also pray to God. So she used to pray mentally. So that is why her soul is being sent to heaven and your soul is being sent to hell, because you were thinking about sins, the papa. And not only that, physically you had put on the yogi's dress. People recognized you as a yogi externally. So look down, look at your bodies. Her body was, left alone because she was considered a lady of ill repute, whereas your body is being given a lot of respect. His dead body was lifted by many of his devotees, and they were, a grand procession had been arranged to carry his body, and all that was being done. So the karmas, whatever the fruits which you are getting are the result of your own karmas only. It is not the physical action. See, the moral behind the story is, it is not merely the physical action. Where is your mind? That is the question. You may be sitting in a temple. I know many people who go to temples, and then after the darshan of the idol and all is over, they sit there and then they gossip about, their neighbors, what happened, politics and all that they discuss. I've seen that. So throughout the Bhagavad Gita, throughout the scriptures, they are asking, what is your bhavana? What is your mind? Where is your mind? What is the condition of your mind? So this great principle of nigrihitani should be applied at the mental level, not merely at the physical level. So you have to now find out for yourself. See, because I received several questions last week. One of the question, in different ways, the same question has been asked. How do we determine how much of sense enjoyments should we experience? How much of all other experiences, in the world? How do we determine the quantity? This is the formula. At what level of physical contact does your mind slip on its own and run away? At what level of contact do you lose your control? Similarly, when are you able to withdraw the mind at will? When you cross a certain line, you will not be able to withdraw your mind whenever you want it to. Then that becomes your what they call as Lakshman Rekha. You know when in the Ramayana, Lakshmana drew a circle around Sita, and he said, "Listen, come what may, don't cross this line." And Sita didn't heed that advice. She crossed that line, and then she became a captive of Ravana. Ravana he had 10 heads, those are the 10 sense organs. So he represents the ego within you. So as an individual, when you cross that line, that is when you become a captive of your own senses, captive of your own ego. So how do you determine that line? This is a simple formula. I'm saying it is a simple formula, but in practicality, you will have to put in a lot of effort to find that line. So for some people, in certain areas, supposing let us say you have a weakness for alcohol, then even the first contact may take away your mind. If you are just exposed to even an advertisement regarding alcohol, your mind may slip and run away. How many sweets should I have? Again, at what point are you losing control? This is what you need to find out. So, nigrihitani means staying put in the center, and that center is something which you need to find out. That is a sadhana. So, the sadhana tip which you can practice today is take up the various areas of your life. First, start off with sense enjoyments, because that is relatively easy to find. The subtler aspects of life, the fact that they are subtle means it will be more difficult for you to notice. So when you're contacting the sense objects, just try to determine that Lakshman Rekha, that circle, that line which pulls your mind away completely. And if that is difficult, then apply the second rule. Find that line where you're able to pull your mind back at will. The moment I go beyond this, I'm unable to pull back my mind. You can just do the sadhana and see, at least in a few aspects of life. So when you start doing that, you will begin to get a hang of what he's talking about here, what he means by nigrihitani. So who is a yogi? That is a sthita prajna, a fully bloomed yogi. Who is such a person? A yogi, a sthita prajna, is one who has no Lakshman Rekha, who has no line. He has reached to that level where any amount of contact with the world or any amount of withdrawal from the world will not move his mind from the center. We find somebody like Lord Krishna. He was a prince. He was fully in the world. Now, sage Durvasa, he used to, eat. But he was called a Nitya Upavasi, means eternal faster. Why was he called like that? Krishna himself was called a Nitya Brahmachari. But when you read the story, you will find their external actions where they look different. What is the message there, the deep message? In spite of the external contact, they never moved away from the center. Similarly, a yogi is one, the opposite extreme also. Supposing you cut off every sense enjoyment from his life, you put him in solitude and not allow him to experience anything, still the mind will not run to the world. He will have no craving whatsoever. Why? Because he is enjoying the bliss of the infinite. So whether you put him in the world or whether you deny him anything, he will be undisturbed. He will be blissful. He will always be happy. He will be centered. You know, Lord Buddha, there is a story, actually an incident. So I'm not going through the full incident now because I have mentioned it earlier several times. There was a person who came and abused Buddha. He used abusive words and shouted at Buddha in front of all the students. But Buddha was just calm. He was just smiling. And when the man went back, that smiling face of Buddha, the peaceful face of Buddha was haunting him throughout the night. He was unable to sleep. He realized his mistake. The next day he came and he apologized. Again Buddha was smiling. All his students, they were also unable to sleep the previous night because they were so disturbed that man had come and insulted their guru, their master, So Buddha was able to easily forgive. Actually, there was no question of forgiving also because he was never angry. So when the man came and asked for forgiveness, Buddha said, I can't forgive you because I am not angry at all. Yesterday you were a different person and today you are a different person. So the person who came and insulted me is not the person who is coming and asking for forgiveness. So you are now different. You have not committed that mistake. It was somebody else. So go back peacefully. So that man went away. But the students were not satisfied. So they were all very angry. They said, Master, we know that you will never ever retaliate, but you should give us permission. We will go and we will abuse him. If you give us permission, we'll even hit him, and come back. How can he do such an action? And you're taking it so lightly. So what Buddha said was very simple. He said, if somebody gives you something, if you accept it, it is yours. Supposing you don't accept it, then what happens? The gift will still belong to the giver only. So he gave me a lot of gifts yesterday. I chose not to accept those gifts. But I can see that you all have accepted those gifts. So you have created a karma for which you have to suffer. So this is the life of a yogi. He is always one with the infinite. A sthita prajna, one whose wisdom is established. He never ever moves from the center. So till you reach that state, you will constantly be moving out of your center. So you need to find those areas where you're being pulled away from the center and apply this wisdom there. It is not a standard formula, external formula. It is an internal sadhana. This is so important. I'm explaining these dimensions of Nigrihitani here because in the 3rd chapter, when he is discussing about how to reach how to reach the state of actionlessness, he will be explaining this in such great detail. Actually, he'll say, if you are sitting with all the senses controlled, but if your mind is going without your control, then you are a mithyachara. Mithyachara means hypocrite. He uses a very strong word in the 3rd chapter. The whatever inputs are being given here, these will be extremely useful when we do the Karma Yoga portion, the 3rd chapter, because there he will be approaching action from different angles. It is an amazing exposition of what karma is. And he will be telling you the essence of Karma Yoga is in being in the center when you are acting in the world. How to be in that center, all that when you're acting in the world, all the entire chapter will be covering that. So here you need to understand the principle. So whether it is contacting the senses, or whether it is your emotions, or whether it is your thoughts, let it be anything, any aspect of the world. When that aspect of the world takes you away from the center, then you are moving away from nigrihitani. So when you're trying to be in the center, which is a constant practice, it's a lifelong practice, you are you're practicing samharate. And as you get established in the center, when you become when you start getting connected with the infinite within you, then you are in the state of nigrihitani. So it does not matter what others think about you. Others may say you are spiritual, or they may say you are not spiritual. All that does not determine. What determines is, are you in the center or are you moving away? Is your mind here or is your mind running everywhere without your control? You can fool everybody else, but you can't fool yourself. You can't fool your guru also. That is why it is said, when you go to your guru, never try to impress your guru. Never, there is nothing to hide anything, because he knows you in and out. That is why he is he is able to guide you. So if you are trying to impress your guru, it means you are trying to run away from some aspect of yourself. You are not giving yourself an opportunity to purify yourself, to get to the center. Next week we are going to have the Guru Purnima, the special meditation, and a lot of healing is going to happen. This is what you need to practice. That is, don't try to impress anyone. Move away, you should conquer this weakness of constantly being influenced by others' opinions. Whatever you are, that is what you are. Especially when it comes to the Guru, if you want to awaken the Guru Shakti within you, you have to practice this. The more simple, the more humble you are, with a lot of gratitude and love, you will attract the Guru Shakti. Last week I mentioned, a Guru does not get attracted to mere clarity. He gets attracted to purity. This is the meaning. There was a master in martial arts and karate. He is some very high degree of black belt he was having, and some world championship he even won, and he many years back when he met me, he was telling me that his teacher in martial arts was from Japan. He was in Japan for many years and he was learning under that great master. Now, he was such a great master, and it was very difficult first to go and learn from him because he was extremely strict, and he never used to allow anybody to come and just like that learn from him. He used to put them through a lot of tests and all that. And he used to teach the subtleties only to those students who were fully prepared. Because these martial arts techniques can be misused also, especially the subtle, powerful techniques. So what was interesting is, this man said he won the world championship, and he took that, he was given a cup, and he took that cup with so much of excitement. He went to his master and he gave him the cup and said, he asked him, what is this? He said, so master, I've become the world champion. And he gave him that. The master immediately took the cup and kept it aside. Absolutely no emotions. He just said, okay, come for practice. Start practicing your punches. Do the warm-ups, first. This man said he was just stunned because he was so excited. I had become the world champion. But there was no reaction from the master. So he couldn't contain himself. He asked him. He said, Master, I've become the world champion. Won't you at least congratulate me? To which the master said, why do you want me to praise you? See, whether you win this world championship or not, I know what your level is. And my only focus is you have to go to the next level. If the world has given you this cup, they have given you this recognition, their focus is not in your development. So they may recognize you. So don't waste my time in asking for recognition and all that. If you want me to praise you, oh wonderful that you become a world champion, then there ends our relationship. If you want to grow further, you be with me. This is what that master told him. He said, more than the world championship and all that, that conversation was what really transformed me. It is the same thing in spirituality also. A guru is only interested in the growth of the student. Nothing else. Everything which he says, everything which he does is only with one motive. The student has to move to the next level. Whether the student gets recognition, whether the student is, does not get recognition, all these things do not matter. So you should get into that level of purity. Nigrihitani, being in the center, means you have to be extremely pure, innocent, humble, full of gratitude. Whenever you move away from the center, your mind will go out of your control. You will start impressing others. You will start looking for name and fame, for recognition. So when he says sense objects, don't restrict it to sense objects. Anything which the world has to offer. When any aspect of the world pulls your mind away, then you have lost the sadhana. you have lost your balance. So whether it is sense objects, whether it is relationships, whether it is name and fame, these are all the various toys which you are so engrossed in today. Just as children play with their toys, similarly, when you are a spiritual child, you are playing with various toys. You cannot get away from these toys, just as you cannot separate a child from the toys. Then the child will become psychologically disturbed. So you cannot separate yourself from these toys, but start practicing this sadhana, apply this wisdom. Don't allow these things to pull you away from the center. Whenever you find that contacting the world is pulling your mind away completely, that is that object, then you should withdraw. Whenever you find that withdrawal is causing too much of frustration, then allow yourself to contact. You have to practice this middle path. Of course, when it comes to certain objects which are addictive in nature, like alcohol, drugs and all that, then there is no question of practicing, let me contact a little bit and all that. There you need to apply verse number 58. That is like a tortoise, that's a dangerous thing. So you need to completely withdraw. Certain things you will have to say no in life. But that is only probably a handful of objects in the world. The rest you should practice the sadhana. So nigrihitani sarvashah. Sarvashah means totally. It's a beautiful word. Sarvashah means totally, wholly. Sarvashah means actually from all sides, This is a technique which he is giving, this is a quality which he is giving, which will assure you spiritual success. Actually, this will assure you in worldly success. What is that? Either you don't do something, or if you do it fully. Half-hearted doing is not considered in spirituality. The word sarvashah is extremely important in your sadhana. There is no question of trying. Sometimes people say, I tell them, they come to me and say, this problem is there. I say, do the yoga sankirtan sadhana every day. Yes sir, I will try to do it. The moment you say, I will try to do it, then you will never do it. 99% I will do it. It means as you are saying that, you are giving a back door, 1%, where you may not do it. That will only work. So in spirituality, from this moment onwards as a sadhak, start practicing this. Decide what you need to do in life. Once you decide, do it wholeheartedly. The sadhana, every aspect of the sadhana, you should do it fully, wholly. You should become a whole person, W-H-O-L-E, whole, Purnam means complete. No doubt that state is Purnam, but even when you're doing your sadhana, you should do it in a complete way. If you're listening, you're listening to this discourse right now. Now don't distract yourself with anything else. Listen to this fully. Be fully here, fully available here. When you're eating, eat fully, with full awareness. Then it becomes a sadhana. Whatever it is that you're doing in life, give it your 100%. A yogi is one who is united. So his personality is never dissipated. When he is talking, he will talk fully. When he is silent, he will be silent fully. Fully means from the depth, I am saying. When he is in the world, he will be there fully. When he is not contacting the world, he will be there fully again. See, this was demonstrated by Lord Krishna. When he was in the war, he was there fully. When he was outside the war, he never thought about the war. Arjuna was just the opposite. When the war was not there, he was talking about the war for 13 long years. But actually when he came to the battlefield, when he was asked to fight, now he was talking philosophy. He said, Krishna, how can I do this? Give me permission. I will take up sannyas and all this. We are never, our mind fails to be fully where the body is. See, right now, even after the session is over, see, as far as this session is concerned, you will be fully here because a higher Shakti is being invoked. But thereafter, when you go and experience life, you will find that your body will be in a particular situation, but your mind will never be fully there. When you're at home, you'll be thinking about office. When you're in office, you'll be thinking about home. Something, there will always be a mix-up. So start becoming a whole person. That is a very important sadhana of Nigrihitani. So the word Nigrihitani gets more intensified when he adds this word Sarvashah. Nigrihitani means being centered. But the moment he puts the word Sarvashah, then that gives enormous power to your sadhana. So you should practice it right in these sessions, like to start with, I say, now close your eyes. Now you should close your eyes. Then when I say do deep breathing, forget everything else and start doing deep breathing. Then when I say let's chant Om once together, breathe in, and when you chant, you should chant Om loudly. This is an online session, so therefore you should not take it for granted. Then when the chanting comes, I'm saying we'll chant a few verses together. Chant loudly. See, be in it fully. And then when you're listening, absorb all these great truths, absorb the higher healing Shakti, receive fully. Then when the time for meditation comes, again close your eyes when it is being told to you, close your eyes and just go through with the energy flow. And after the session is over, just sit for 5-10 minutes, recapitulate the points, express yourself. Again, that has to be done in a wholehearted way. So when you practice it during the session, when you go to other experiences of your life, you will be able to practice there also. Here itself, if your mind is running here and there, then how will you be able to practice it otherwise? So it's a very, very powerful combination. Nigrihitani sarvashah. That is why he said Mahabaho, means you need to have enormous strength in order to do the sadhana. Oh Mahabaho, when you awaken the Mahabaho within you, then you will be able to practice Nigrihitani. That is, the practice is called Samharate. Being established is called Nigrihitani. That whole sadhana, Sarvashah, means totally, fully. So when it comes to spirituality, there is no compromise, You should not leave the sadhana till you gain complete self-mastery. There are many people, when they get a few benefits, immediately they leave the sadhana. See, when you start attending these sessions, when you start doing the sadhana, many unfulfilled desires will all start getting fructified, will start getting fulfilled. Your goals, will be achieved. You will get a lot of positive things, a lot of success. So many things will get. And when you practice the deeper sadhana, when you attend the empowerment sessions, and as you advance further, you will start acquiring a lot of siddhis. Siddhis means the powers, But there is also a danger involved there. That is, when good things start coming to you, it is a test of your sadhana, of your purity. Many sadhaks stop doing sadhana. The moment you stop your sadhana, you stagnate at that level, and ultimately you will devolve. Especially when it comes to siddhi. I have received another question. Someone has asked about siddhis, the supernatural powers, As a sadhak, never ever go for these supernatural powers and all that. That itself is an ego boost only. Be happy like a child, Spirituality is in becoming a nothing. All glory should go to God, not to the individual. So the moment you're looking for siddhis or powers, you're trying to boost your ego. No doubt in spirituality, when you're focused on the infinite, when you're focused on the path, these powers will come on their own. When they come on their own, they are your slaves. But if you seek these powers, then you will become a slave. You will get entangled, enmeshed. You will lose sight of the ultimate purpose. Great yogis, great siddhas, great masters, they had all the powers, but they never exhibited those powers. They were very simple and childlike. The hallmark of a master, of a yogi, is that is his simplicity. So always try to be very simple. Don't complicate spirituality. So no compromise. Go for the infinite. These are all finite benefits. When you do the sadhana, you will acquire more wealth. You will acquire more name and fame. Name and fame means more recognition in whatever field you are in, because when your mind becomes more focused, your efficiency will increase. So the quality of your actions will naturally increase. When the quality of your actions, when it increases, that will be recognized. You will attain more success. Your relationships will improve. But all these are only relative benefits. Your health will improve. Now these are all tests. You should not fall a prey for all this. Yes, enjoy all this. Okay, these things are coming, fine. But this is not my purpose. My purpose is to become a sthita prajna, is to reach the ultimate, is to realize God. A person who is very focused in that way will get everything from the Guru. The Guru Shakti awakens fully within such a person. If a person compromises and says, okay, this benefit has come, so let me stop my sadhana, the Guru is not going to interfere with anyone's karmas, It is you who needs to choose. The Guru is always one with the infinite, giving the infinite energy. But if you compromise, then he also moves away. Because there is, only when there is a receiver, something, more can be given. So that is why Sarvashaha is so important. So one is, everything which you do it fully, wholly. And then it means from all sides, don't compromise with some one benefit or two benefits. No, your goal is the infinite. That's why Swami Vivekananda, he said, arise, awake, and stop not till you reach the goal, till the goal is reached. Many great yogis I know. I mean, they didn't complete. They before reaching the highest, they compromised somewhere with some finite power. They stopped doing the sadhana. It is rare. It is very rare that a person is untouched by all this, and he goes for the ultimate. Each and every one of you who's listening to this, I'm talking to you personally. You should be that person. You should maintain that purity. Nigrihitani sarvashah. Okay, so we'll stop here. Next week we are going to have the Guru Purnima session, and then after that we'll continue. We'll finish this verse. When I say finish, I can go on for forever with any of these verses, because yogic approach is infinite. The depth is infinite. But to the extent you can absorb, I keep giving, and then we move further. So I'll give you some more subtle tips regarding Nigrihitani, subtle messages, which will also be a kind of a preparation for absorbing the messages contained in the coming verses. And after that we will move on. But today you practice the various tips which were given. And if you want to get the best out of the Guru Purnima session, do your sadhana. Don't compromise. Whether you get benefits or whether you don't get benefits, these are all relative. You will get benefits. How will you not get benefits? But don't allow these things to distract you. See, if you relate to a guru merely at the external level, he will also give you something superficial. If you relate with the guru at the emotional level, he'll give you emotions. If you relate to the guru at the intellectual level, he'll give you knowledge. But if you relate to your guru at the spiritual level, you will receive the highest Shakti, the higher grace. So that is a prerequisite to awaken the Guru Shakti within you. Okay, so before we do the meditation, I will take up some questions which have come. This question has been asked by Donna Silvestro. She's put it in the YouTube comment section. It's my understanding that everything in life should be a sadhana. When the time is appropriate during the weekly discourses, could you please explain the deeper meaning of sadhana practices? Thank you so much. It's a very nice question. It's been put in a very nice way. When you say that when you find it appropriate, could you give the answer? That is a perfect approach, because sometimes what happens is you may have a question, but the master will know that right now the answer may not be received fully by you. So a student's duty is to definitely ask, but you should ask without any expectations. Like, what she has put here. Very nice. So what is the sadhana? I'll just cover a few points today, because the word sadhana is so deep that that can go on for weeks, So, but I'll cover a few major points, and as we go along also, different aspects of the sadhana will be covered. Little by little, slowly over a period of time, you will get a complete picture. But since you've asked, sadhana literally means, we generally call it a practice. That is, it means a tool, a kind of an instrument. Sadhana means an instrument, a tool, or a vehicle. So an instrument or a tool which you use to reach somewhere, to achieve a goal. That is called sadhana. So when it comes to spirituality, the goal is God realization. So any practice which you take up, which helps you to progress in your spiritual path, that is called sadhana. Whenever something takes you away from spiritual advancement, then that is the opposite of sadhana. So there are basically two types. One is the interactive sadhana, and the other is the personal sadhana. That is a sadhana which you need to do all alone by yourself, and the sadhana which you need to do when you interact with the world. Both are very important. So the first thing is the personal sadhana. You need to set aside at least 1 to 2 hours in a day where you are all alone by yourself. The yoga sankirtan sadhana, the meditation practice, has been prescribed. That is one of the most powerful ways of getting connected to the infinite. So when you set aside a time every day and you invoke the Guru Shakti, you bow down to the infinite, you offer your gratitude to your Guru, and with all the sincerity, when you do the Yoga Sankirtan sadhana, you get connected with the infinite. You start absorbing the higher Shakti. By creating these audio materials and giving it to you, it has been made very, very simple for you. The audio material will be of a great help. Otherwise, by all alone, to do the higher aspects of Yoga Sankirtan and getting connected with the infinite will be very difficult. There are actually 12 levels. I have only given out the first level till now, because the higher levels requires enormous tapas and more preparation. As and when the time comes, those also will be revealed. And do some yogic kriyas, the physical part also, the asanas and kriya, which will help you to maintain your health. Health is also very important for sadhana. So this is your personal sadhana. Then comes your interactive sadhana. When you are acting in the world, it will either be your speech, you're speaking something, or you will be acting, performing some actions, or you will be feeling some emotions, or you will be thinking. So for each of these, they had given various sadhanas. How to refine your speech. How do you speak in such a way that the very words do a lot of benefit to others, and also it inspires you. It gets you more connected with the infinite. Similarly, how do you act? That is the entire Karma Yoga, which we are going to see in the next chapter. Using your emotions to get connected with the infinite is Bhakti Yoga. Using your intellect, thinking to get connected with the infinite is Jnana Yoga. So the Karma Yoga, the Bhakti Yoga, the Jnana Yoga, all these help you to purify yourself in the world. This is on one hand. On the other hand is the personal sadhana, the meditation, the yoga sankirtan. When you do that, that will directly lift your consciousness. It will raise your consciousness and it will get you more firmly established, completely established in the higher, in the infinite. It will burn up all the karmas, the psychic impressions which you have stored in the deeper layers of your personality. So when you combine the personal sadhana and the interactive sadhana, then your sadhana becomes complete. So what are we doing every Sunday? Every Sunday I am giving you a lot of sadhana tips. So on one hand, a lot of inspiration is being provided so that you can do your sadhana. You don't lose your focus when you're functioning in the world. On the other hand, a lot of sadhana tips are given so that it becomes very easy for you. And the third thing which is being done every Sunday is that higher healing Shakti is being invoked. A lot of healing is being given so that your sadhana can give you results at a faster pace. See, a guru helps in speeding up the process. A guru is not a substitute for your efforts. Most people, they think that, okay, once I go and surrender to my guru, no, guru will take care of everything. No, you will only have to do the sadhana. But the guru invokes the higher energy. He invokes the higher healing Shakti. And, when he emits that and when you receive that, your sadhana gets enriched. Many, many blocks which you are unable to release, on your own, you will be able to easily release when you tap the higher energy, when you tap the higher Shakti, when you receive the higher energy which the guru taps and gives it for you. So this is the gist of what sadhana is all about. And if you practice this, your entire life will become sadhana. Every aspect of your life will help you to evolve spiritually. That is what is the ultimate aim of this wisdom. That is, every experience, whether it is a sensual experience or an emotional experience or whatever it is, that should teach you something. You should learn something from that and you should move towards your ultimate purpose of becoming one with the infinite. Okay? So now we'll do the meditation. Sit in a comfortable position, your spinal cord erect. Today I'm going to prepare you further for the next week Guru Purnima session. Gently close your eyes. Do deep breathing. As you breathe deeply, feel your entire personality getting into a state of total relaxation. With utter gratitude and humility, I bow down to my Guru, Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. I request the Guru Shakti to guide me in my path of self-purification. Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. I request the Guru Shakti to always protect me and give me the strength to do my sadhana and perfect myself. Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. I request the Guru Shakti to keep me always centered and give me the focus to live my life in a total way, in a complete way. Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. I bow down in utter humility and thank the Guru and the Guru Shakti with all my emotions and gratitude. Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Offer your gratitude to God Supreme. Offer your gratitude to your Guru and all the holy masters. Slowly come back. Wriggle your fingers, your toes, rub your palms together to create a warmth. Cup your eyes with your palms. Gently rub your eyes, cheeks, forehead, top of the head, back of the head and neck. Slowly open your eyes. Welcome back. You all are in a different frequency now, isn't it? That is the power of the Guru Shakti, you know. Whenever we invoke the Guru Shakti, we should become very humble, full of gratitude. We should become very simple, childlike, you know. See, just as a baby, how does a baby approach his or her mother? With full love and affection, not trying to impress or nothing, you know. This is what the great Siddhas, the great masters have taught me. And I am just sharing that with you all. The great masters of the Upanishads never considered themselves as gurus. See, a true guru will never consider himself as a guru. The world may call him a guru, but he will always be very humble, an eternal student. He will always be connected with that infinite. All the glory goes to the infinite, you know. So next week, we are going to have the powerful meditation on the auspicious occasion of Guru Purnima. A lot of healing Shakti is going to be invoked. I have received a few questions where they have asked whether this event is a registered event, whether there are any charges for all this and all. Absolutely nothing. This is a free event. No registration, no prior registration required. Same time as the Sunday discourses at 7 a.m. we'll be starting. So last week, I'm sure you had practiced that small sadhana which I had given you. That is before your Yoga Sankirtan meditation, and then after your meditation is over, just offering your gratitude to the Guru. So continue that this week. Do it with full bhavana. See, remember one thing. The Guru is a manifestation of Guru Shakti. He is always connected with the infinite. He keeps radiating the highest energy. Now, the more humble we become, we can receive maximum. The higher grace is universal, is always being given. But we fail to receive it fully due to our own, pockets of, ego. Ego may be a little harsh, but that is what is the reality. Ultimately, it is all ego only. but our own preconceived notions, our own blocks, So, for this week, continue to practice that gratitude sadhana. I would say you should make it a lifelong practice, because the more grateful you are, the more it'll open up all your chakras, your energy centers. You will be able to receive so easily. You require an open aura. The more open your aura is, the more you will be able to receive the higher grace. Okay? So that is a preparation which is required in today's meditation. I have done a lot of cleaning up. A lot of preparation has been done. So you're all fully prepared. Just do this sadhana and come next week. We are going to have a blast of energy. And then after that, we'll be continuing with the Bhagavad Gita. Okay? So thank you very much. Hari Om.